what can you compare entrepreneurs to? First, entrepreneurs are heroes. So Khulud is saying from their ideas and how they are different. Exactly, Khulud, they are different, and let's see how they can be different. So first, entrepreneurs are heroes. Of course, we will be talking more about why they are considered as heroes. So why do you think they are heroes? Because what they do is they actually solve tough problems. So entrepreneurs are the backbone of the economy in the world because they are the ones who bring new and fresh ideas. As we said, so they solve problems. The second thing that they do is they create jobs. You need to know that the potential in the market or the opportunities in the market for young people or for anybody to work is with entrepreneurs because they are the ones who start up businesses. They are the ones who come up not only with fresh ideas, but with an idea that can be turned into a business, and that business, through it being sustainable and being and growing, would allow for more job opportunities. So they are the ones who create jobs through their innovations, and they are the ones who the economy actually depends on because without them, the employment opportunities are quite narrow. They are enduring optimists. This is actually very true. We will be talking more about this when we get to some case studies. But yes, they are faced with a lot of challenges. They are the people who do not accept the status quo as is. They are the people who constantly question the status quo. They are the people who constantly look at things and ask, why not? Okay, and they are the ones who keep on saying that this can be changed, this can be improved. Now, the different types of entrepreneurs we have are first, well, obviously, the entrepreneur himself, who is the person who innovates a product, an existing product, or maybe sometimes come up with a new product, okay, or service for people to use. So basically, what this person does is they develop a certain product and they make a business out of that product. Now, this is the entrepreneur. The social entrepreneur is less concerned with the business part of it and more concerned with the social aspect of something. So the social entrepreneur is someone who doesn't look for profit, who is looking more to have an impact on the environment or an impact on the world they're living in through a certain idea that they have that they can develop maybe later on into a social business. So the social entrepreneur, for instance, can come up with a solution to let's say, filter the water, or to reuse some recycled material, or to do something that contributes in preserving the environment, or to present a solution for to educate children, etc. So those are the social entrepreneurs. Sometimes their ideas are not for profit, so they develop a business that is a not for profit. Actually, it's not a business. It's more of something that they do. Okay, an organization, and sometimes they go ahead and do a social business. Social business is actually something that doesn't make a huge profit for that person or that entrepreneur. It is because they are actually more concerned with that social part of it. Now, the intrapreneur, the last one, is the entrepreneur inside a company. So this is someone who works in a company, but is also always innovating inside that specific company. So for instance, if we take Apple, okay, maybe the person who designed, let's say, the iPad is an intrapreneur because it is someone who is working at Apple, but also making the innovation inside the organization. Now, the hard question is entrepreneurship easy? What do you think? So to help you more with getting the answer to this, let us look at these 75 and 5. Do you have any idea what those numbers represent? Okay, so Khulud is saying, no, it's not easy. As you face a lot of new things. Khulud, you are absolutely right. And actually, we are going to take a look further at those numbers. What these numbers mean is that 75% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. So imagine how hard it is to be an entrepreneur. Okay, imagine that it's only, that's right, Sarah, it's not easy. Imagine that it's only 25% of businesses that can actually survive in this competing world. That's right, Khulud. But actually, 75 is the new things you would face and don't know about. That could also apply to the fact that 75% do not succeed, because not only, sometimes they are not aware of things, and sometimes they are too afraid to take more risks to face those new things that they actually see. So, since you're saying that it is hard, it's actually quite hard to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy to get out of your comfort zone of a safety net where you're working at a job that pays you a salary at the end of a month. You know that you have medical care, that you have transportation, that no matter whether the company is working or not, or no matter whether the economy is bad or not in the country, you have a job, you have an income at the end of the month, and you are fine. So this is a great safety net, but a lot of people are much more ambitious than that. A lot of people say, no, I don't want the safety net that I am in. I don't want this comfort zone. I need to get out of it and do something for myself. I need to do something that makes me passionate, that makes me strive, and that I could actually sustain on a longer run. So knowing all of this, yes, entrepreneurs are faced with challenges on a daily basis. The first challenge is the financial challenge, okay? Entrepreneurs are always questioning, can I make this salaries, this month's salaries, can I pay them? Where am I going to get money to develop further my business? Where am I going to get money to grow my business? How am I going to export maybe, or to produce the product that I have been working on? So there's also this there's always this financial challenge that we are faced with as entrepreneurs. The second challenge is the team challenge. It's always very hard for entrepreneurs to find the right candidates for the right jobs. Why is that? Because actually what happens is, as an entrepreneur, you do not have margin to hire, let's say, 20 persons, and each person does a specific thing. Okay, what you want, especially as you're starting up, you want people who join on board and who are also entrepreneurial in their thinking, who wouldn't mind doing several jobs as long as at the end of the day, the end project is done. So you want this type of persons who can think as a team and who can multitask to help you sustain your business. And this is not easy to find. You're always wondering whether you have made the right choice, where you are going to find someone who can help you do whatever it is that you're doing. The market challenges is another big challenge that we face, because the competition out there is existing, it is rough, and sometimes as an entrepreneur, you are faced with major players in the market, you are faced with big competition that you need somehow to try and avoid, or at least to specialize your product even more so that you don't go face to face with that competition. And finally, the society challenges at all levels. Sometimes it's not hard in a country, let's say, with instabilities, whether economical or political, to say, okay, I'm going to do something on my own, because you don't know what's going to happen the next day maybe in the country. Now, given the fact that we have all of these challenges, does any of those challenges actually stop us from doing that, from being entrepreneurs? And more importantly, will these challenges stop you? I am sure that all of you can relate to what I have been explaining. I'm sure that we all face problems concerning our financial challenges, the team challenges, and everything else that we face. Like Khulud said, maybe 75% of the things that we don't know and that we discover while we decide to become entrepreneurs. So has these challenges stopped you? I think not, I hope not. Anyway, I think not, because you are here in the session with me tonight. So following on this is a very nice quote by Thomas Edison, who said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And this is extremely true, because sometimes failure is not just about failure, okay? It's just about finding a solution, but not necessarily to that same problem. Go more into the details of this when we reach the innovational part. So for entrepreneurship, it's good to know, at least, that it's not magic, it's not mysterious, okay? And a lot of people do it. Are these people, do they have it in their genes? No, they don't have entrepreneurship in their genes, okay? Entrepreneurship is a discipline. And like any discipline, it can be learned. That's right, Sarah, you should keep challenging, and you should, every challenge that you see is an opportunity actually for you to keep on doing what you're doing and not to stop and give up because you face that challenge. And remember one thing, the more challenges you face, the stronger you become. So, so to go back to entrepreneurship, as I was saying, like any discipline, it can be learned. Now, just as, imagine yourselves when you were young and maybe you were learning to ride the bike, okay? So the first time you rode the bicycle, it wasn't easy for you, of course. But then once you learned how to ride the bicycle, even after 10 years, even after 20 years, you know exactly what to do on that bike because it has become part of your reflexes. So it is the same, and even if you stop biking for 10 years, the minute you go back and try to ride the bicycle, that you need to where to place your hands, what to do with your feet, how to move forward, how to move in a straight line, how not to fall, etc. So this is what I mean by it becomes a kind of a reflex for you. And entrepreneurship is the same. It becomes part of you. It is a discipline. It can be learned. And once it can be learned, it means that the minute you decide to become an entrepreneur, succeed at doing it, even if after a few years your business fails, okay, it doesn't mean that you can no longer be an entrepreneur. So how will we be supporting you in your entrepreneurial journey? First, we will teach you the best of failure. This is very important. I know we're all scared of failure, especially us women, because this is somehow maybe a little new for us to go out there and do something on our own. We will help you in mentoring you to focus on most important aspects of your business idea. Okay, because as you may know, when you have your business idea, you cannot do everything about it by yourself. You need people to help you achieve that idea. There are some things that are core to you that you should not be outsourcing, that there are other things that you can actually outsource because they are less important and maybe someone else with more expertise can do them for you. And we will expose you to investors, partners, and mentors, so your chances of success will be higher. Now let's take a look at our case study, the first case study, which is a beautiful case study. And speaking of the challenges that I have been talking about, okay, and that we are constantly faced with. So Dr. Hayat Sindi, who is a medical researcher and entrepreneur. Now, she arrived to London in the early 90s. She didn't speak English, okay? She had no promised place at the university. So she went there, and maybe not only with 75% chances of not knowing what's expecting her, but even, I would say, even more than that. Okay, but her story is really inspiring and really incredible. She has been credited with the invention of a lot of medical equipment, okay, and especially Mars, which combines the effects of light and sound for use in biotechnology. And she also co-founded Diagnostics for All, okay, which has an aim to save lives and improve health in the developing world through pioneering technological innovation. Now, you see, for instance, this Dr. Cindy is someone who started from scratch and with even less than scratch. She went there, she couldn't even speak the language. So imagine the barriers that she had, imagine the challenges that she was faced with, okay? And despite it all, she made it happen, and she is now one of the most credible and accredited doctors in the world. Now let's move to take a look at innovation. What is innovation and how you can use innovation in your business? So what is innovation? Is it similar to invention? So first, innovation is not an idea, okay? You having an idea by itself is worthless. It doesn't mean anything, because as long as ideas are not put into practice, as long as ideas are not turned into realities, they have no meaning. They are just ideas in your head. They only become something, they only become valuable when you actually put them in practice, when you turn that idea into a reality. So innovation is not just an idea, okay? It is not an invention, Khulud. So unlike you're saying here, okay, it is not an invention per se. An invention is coming up with something new. So it is not an invention because you can invent a lot of crazy things, but that no one will want. Okay, so inventions are not necessarily something that is useful. Inventions are only useful when they are used by people, and most importantly, when people are willing to pay a price for that invention. So what is innovation? Let's take a look at how, yes, Sarah, it's about a creation of things, but it is actually not just creation of things. It's not the creation of new things. So we're going to take a look at how it is actually perceived. So invention, if we take a look at invention versus innovation. Innovation is the other way around. It is the conversion of ideas into cash, which means that innovation may not require a very high capital, okay? And that people would need and would want to buy, and that would mean that it is converting ideas into cash. Okay, so Khulud is asking, here you mean to create things which people are in need of and will get to make their life easier. Exactly. And not only that, it is something that people will actually see the value of. Okay? Yes, it's absolutely what you're saying. So basically, it is coming up with substantial improvements to an existing setup. This is very important. Innovation is about something that is existing and that you innovate, that you improve, okay? It's not about creating something totally new. So what you would do is you come up with an improvement to an existing model, to an existing setup, and more importantly, something that people would be willing to pay you for. So it's not just about improving something that exists. The catch here is for people to be willing to pay for that thing that you are improving, for that improvement that you are offering them. So for instance, let me give you a simple example. Okay, maybe 20 years ago, we didn't have cell phones. We had the telephone that is at home, the fixed line, right? So, and even before that, maybe 15 years before that or 10 years before that, we didn't have the cordless phones, right? We just had the telephone that is home and that came with a cord, and everything that we wanted to whenever we wanted to make a phone call, we would have to sit on a specific chair because we couldn't move around the house, right? And use that telephone. And then companies came up with the cordless phone. So people thought, oh, okay, that's handy, which means that if I am in the kitchen, I can still, if I'm watching TV, if I'm in my room, I can still talk on the phone, right? And then they took that concept of mobility and they said, okay, if I should be able to talk on the phone while I'm in the kitchen, why not do it while I'm driving or while I'm at work, etc. So why not go and do something that is actually mobile? And this is where the development of the mobile actually happened. So you see, the idea is there. It's not an invention. The telephone has been there for a century, even more than that, right? But then how it got improved, that is the part that is innovation. And now, even if we go even further into innovation, you will see that the improvements are even done on the part of the mobility itself, where now what you can do with your mobile phone is much more than just talk to people via phone conversation. Exactly, Sarah, that point. It's not about coming up with something totally new. It's about doing something or enhancing something to make people's lives better, to find a different approach to that thing, only even better than the existing thing. Okay? So, the question is, where can you innovate? Is it only with products that you innovate? Okay, now here we see something that's quite nice. Okay, so we see the bottle with two necks where you can actually pour water into two different cups at the same time. You can see the avocado cutter, and you can see a lot of things. So Suhair is saying, no, it is not just with products, and Suhair, you are absolutely right about this. Okay, innovation actually can happen on the level of the products, on the level of services, the business model itself, the go-to-market experience, the overall experience, and the pricing model. So let me give you an example about some of those, all right? So for instance, the experience. So I'm assuming you all know Virgin Megastores, right? It is the multimedia shop that is everywhere, you can find everywhere, and where you go to buy multimedia, whether it's movies or CDs or magazines or books, etc. Okay. Now, when Virgin was introduced to the market, okay, the traditional aspect of things was that you would go somewhere, you would buy a CD, and then you would come to your house or to your car, and you would put that CD on, and you would listen to the music on that CD. But then Virgin introduced something else, which is again not an invention, but an innovation. What they did is they said, okay, fine, you don't have to buy the entire CD. You don't have to buy the CD before you actually listen to the music. What we will do is we will place the speakers, the headphones inside the store, and what you can do there is you can listen to the first 30 seconds of the songs, and if you like it, then you can purchase the CD. How innovative that idea was. So this is, for instance, on the level of the experience itself, it's the experience that's around the product. So now people could actually listen to some of the music and then say, okay, I like the music style, I will purchase the CD. Now, even pushing that example even further, now, okay, with the introduction of iTunes and and all of the online music, again, you don't have to buy the entire CD, you can buy just one track from that CD. So you see, this is how, according to people's needs, you actually innovate on different levels of your business model. So for the process of innovation, okay, we take a look at the user needs, we take a look at what are the technological capabilities that are here for us to use, then we come up with a business case, and we have the innovation happening on the level of the business. So here I want you to take a look at your own innovation and see which user problem you are solving in your idea. Whether your idea is a startup, okay, so whether you have already started your business up, or whether you are in the process of starting it up and it is still an idea. So how are you innovating in each of the following aspects? On the product level, on the service level, inside the business model itself, on the go-to-market, on the client experience, or on the pricing model. For instance, let me give you another example regarding the pricing model. Before, every time you wanted to purchase, for instance, a software, okay, we had to again go to companies or buy CDs off the shelf like Microsoft, and then come and install them and get a license and use them. So that was the pricing model for software. But now, okay, you have subscription fees, and you can go as low as, for instance, $10 per month for you to be using a sales automation force software or something else. So you see, the fact that software has become something that is open to everybody has allowed for the pricing model to change drastically, and also for the user experience to change drastically with regards to that. Another case study about these stylish Saudi women entrepreneurs who actually mean business. So this is quite interesting. You have 6 ladies. I'm going to go quickly through them. So you have the TV presenter Gina Ali Rida, the fashion guru Mariam Musalli, the beauty expert and editor-in-chief of Jeddah beauty blog Nailuha, the fashion designer Yusra Ifawi, the fashion photographer Rim Bajaba, and makeup expert Inas Hammoud, okay, who decided to become the judges at a women-only event in Jeddah. So during the Women Appreciation Month, okay, which was initiated in 2011 by leading Saudi fashion brand Feminine, they did something that is Jeddah Beauty, where they actually decided to style up 3 women entrepreneurs and make them and get them ready for their job, okay, in their best attire and best actually looks. Now moving on to polishing your business idea. So we have explained about entrepreneurship, we have explained about innovation. Where do these two actually meet? So what we said before is an entrepreneur is always looking for new ideas, for fresh ideas, and for change. But not only do we look for change to just look for it, but we also look for change to respond to it and to exploit opportunities. We see entrepreneurs see opportunities where others don't see anything. Innovation is a specific tool for entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs, what they do is they convert a source into a resource for them to use and for clients and customers to actually use. So to ensure that your business has the maximum impact and the greatest chances of success, make sure that it is in line with key trends. Okay, we are going to take a look at the different trends that we have, but the point is you need to ride the wave. The bigger the wave, so the bigger the trend, the higher you go. You have to know that you have trends that are happening in the world. Some of them are worldwide, some of them are regional, others are local. You need to search what those trends are for, and you need to come up with something that applies to these trends, because trends are something that sets people in a certain mindset, will make them see that this is the need right now. So for instance, right now, the trend maybe in business is social media. So either social media consultancy or social media management, etc. So this is one of the trends on the economy level, or at least on the business level. So what are the key trends taking place these days? It's interesting to see that we have on different levels a lot of trends. First, on the technological level, of course, you have a lot of trends, especially now, as I was explaining before, how we used to use the phone. And if you look simply at how we are using our phones today are much less of a means of communication on the voice level, and much more on the social level, in terms of chatting, in terms of WhatsApp, in terms of checking your it is being turned into a business tool, okay, on the social networking level, and so on and so forth. You have hundreds of thousands of applications that you can use to remind yourself of things, to maybe learn yoga, to hear the latest joke of the day. Anything that you want, you can find it in the form of an application. So here you can see that the trend right now is technological, and mostly it's about technology when it comes to mobile phones and the personal use of mobile phones with everyone's specific needs and specific behavior. Now, the second trend is the economic trend, where you see that more and more barriers are being kind of loose between countries, where you see that globalization is here for everybody. As an example to that, whether you live in Saudi Arabia, or you live in Lebanon, or you live in the UAE, or you live in Singapore, or you live in the USA, we all can use Facebook exactly in the same way as each other. It means that the barriers between countries, the barriers of languages are slowly not, I'm not going to say disappearing, but they are slowly loosening, okay, to be able to have this one global village where everybody can talk to everybody at any point. The political trends, of course, it is happening, especially in our region, with the Arab Spring that has been happening in Egypt, in Tunisia, etc., and which is changing a lot of rules. Okay, the demographic trend, which shows, let's say, senior people, okay, elderly people who might want to require specific products for them, whether it is on the services level or on the product itself. And finally, the social trend, which is, I wouldn't say it's the biggest of all, because it's actually comprised of the others, and it does involve the others as well. Okay, because social means that, for instance, when you go to a restaurant now, you see more people on their phones than people actually conversing between each other. So maybe for me, personally, I think maybe I would look at those people. I wouldn't do that, but that does understand what they are doing, because this is how social networking and the other trends have been affecting our life. So you can see that all of this, whether technological, whether economical, whether political or demographical, all of those have been a serious impact on the social aspect of the trends. Again, I want you to look at this kind of, it's a small exercise, it's for you, and it is to see how big is the wave that you are riding. So how is your business making the most of the following trends? It doesn't have to make most out of all the trends, but at least try to identify the areas in which your business is actually profiting. So on the technological level, the economical level, the political, demographic, or the social level. So how do you see your business aligned to all of these trends? Sahar Al-Frej, who is actually one of the members of the SME Evolution Program, which is another program that Potential has. Okay, and she is the owner establishment, which is a retail and wholesale home-based local business registered in Saudi Arabia since 2010. And what she does is she offers high-quality products at affordable prices to women, and she prefers to work online to keep the prices affordable and to avoid adding high store rent or multiple employee income to her business model. Now, something very important, the bigger the user problem that you are trying to solve, the bigger the wave that you are riding, the more impact you will have in your business model. Now, having said this, this also means that there are implications to that. This also means that the higher the risk that you are going to take. Okay, do not forget about risk. Everything I have been talking about is it's very nice and it's quite ambitious and it's quite encouraging and everything. But there's also, and you know this better than anyone else, that there is a risk associated with everything that you do. So yes, the bigger the user problem that you are solving, the higher the risk as well. And the bigger the wave that you are riding, okay, the higher the risk. But the higher the risk, okay, the more impact you're going to have, because once you get over that risk and once you actually succeed in doing what you're doing, the results that you are going to get are far higher than if you are taking a low risk and being conservative about what you're doing. So now I'm gonna leave you on a very nice final thought that I would like to explain a bit more, and that is set by Thomas Edison. So Thomas Edison said, opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. A lot of people think that opportunities are something that's gonna come knocking at your door, and not only knocking at your door, you need to sit back and enjoy it. It doesn't happen like that, especially in the entrepreneurial field. Okay, entrepreneurship is dressed in overalls and it does look like work, and it's actually a lot of work and a lot of hard work. Okay, so it's okay to sacrifice a lot of things. It's okay to be working sometimes and to be even to get to a point where you're almost giving up, because sometimes it would appear that things are not working, but do not give up, because whenever you know that you are working hard and you know that you are giving your best to making that business idea happen, it's going to happen.